ShartimusPrime, ShartimusPrime. Reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking bad shits. Subscribe.
Jean Grey pleasure pose right there, you know. Hey, what's up, you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing a review based off of my Facebook voting, and this is on the Thundercats classic Lionel figure, not to be confused with Lionel Richie. I want to give a big thanks to Star Sapphire for hooking me up and sending me my ass to Ghana again. Yeah, this thing is really awesome. Actually, there's a long story behind this figure, but just let me give you a 360 over of the figure really quick. He stands very well. It's a tall figure, very cool figure. But yeah, so I got a little story to tell. How about you meet me over in camera 2, okay? Alright, thanks for meeting me over at camera 2. So yeah, basically there's a story behind this Lionel figure. I didn't know about it at all until I was actually at Comic-Con. I didn't know about it until I was in line for the Mattel stuff. I was picking up Swamp Things for me and Memo Cobra. Thanks again, Memo Cobra. And I met a couple of dudes there just talking in line, and one of these guys was from the UK, and he was saying that he had picked up this Lionel figure. I had no idea what he was talking about, so, you know, just for talking and stuff, he was a cool guy. He wanted to show it to me. His girlfriend was waiting with, you know, his stuff, and so after we'd gotten our figures, met up with him, and he showed it to me. I was like, oh wow, that's actually a really cool figure. Sean Long met up with us a little afterwards too, and he was like, oh yeah, I have that. It's a really cool figure. And I was like, damn, but $40, man, that's a lot, dude. I mean, he's not a small figure, but still, for $40 of a figure like this size, I don't know. I just didn't think it was a legitimate purchase. It was kind of rough. Now there is the retail version that doesn't have as many paint apps, which I could show you right here. And Sean said that one's going to cost only like $18-20. So for, you know, paying double price for more paint apps, I was thinking, wow, shoot, I don't know. But so anyway, we go through the convention and stuff, and Century Productions really caught on to the Lionel figure. And he ended up getting one. He got one. He's like, oh man, this figure is sick. And I looked at his figure. I was like, damn, that figure is awesome. But damn, I can't justify spending $40. Especially I'm short on money, of course, you guys know. And I was just like, damn, I actually really want it. But, you know, I just can't justify getting it. Well, after I saw Centuries, you know, I caved. I went and I got the damn figure. Now, here's the thing is that when I went and picked up the figure, now as you guys know, the box is pretty plain, but when I bought the figure, it had there was like a big like white dot. It wasn't hella big, it was just a small white dot on the front of the box, and I was like, damn. I'm like, dude, I'm not gonna spend $40 on this thing and get a box that has a defective, you know, cover on it and has a white dot on it. It's like, ah, fuck that. So like, yeah, go return it, go, you know, exchange it or whatever. And then the dude gave me a new one, and just a few minutes later, I opened it up. Dude, the one that I had exchanged, the one that had gotten replaced, when I had opened it, the lion logo right here was upside down, dude. I was like, oh man, dude, Century Productions thought that was the funniest shit ever. He was like, damn, you hella had to exchange it because of that little white dot on there, and then you ended up getting an even more defective figure. I was like, I know, hella sucks. But the figure I got, you know, this one right here, so I exchanged again after I had opened it, and they were really cool over, it was, you know, at Bandai or whatever it was, but it was really cool. And so yeah, so later on, I forgot what day, I think it may have been on Sunday or something, or Saturday, I was, you know, going around From Brazil with Love and Jesus, and there's these Captain America posters right here that we had gotten on the movie screening for Captain America. And From Brazil had his framed out and everything, so he was walking with it framed. And now Anthony James and Punk Rocker, yeah, and maybe a couple other people may have forgotten the posters, they had extra posters like in their bag. And, you know, while I was with From Brazil with Love, you know, people were just going like, wow, that's a really cool poster. Wow, where did you get that? Wow, you know, people were getting attention. And this one guy said, like, how much? He said, wow, how much did you get that for? He's like, actually, I got another one. And he was like, oh, how much? And like neither of us knew, you know, like how much. And, you know, Brazil he's like 30. He like, gives me this look like 30. I was like, damn, $30, dude. The shit was free, man. The guy's like, yeah, okay. Dude, bust out $30. Brazil just made $30 right there. I was like, oh my god. I'm like, you got an extra one in those, right? He's like, yeah. Like, dude, let me get the extra one. Let me try to sell it for 40, man. Let me use your poster to sell it for 40, so I could pay for this Lion-O figure. So basically, he did, and he was walking around with it, and you know, that's kind of funny. An English couple came by, and they're like, oh, that's a really cool poster. Like, yeah, we have an extra one for sale. He's like, oh, really? How much? I was like, 40. He was like, okay. He pulled out $40 and he paid for it. Turns out this thing's worth about $50-$60 on eBay. So those guys that bought it for $30-$40 actually got it for a really good deal, because they were only releasing these posters on a Thursday night or Wednesday night, forgot, for Captain America movie. So I got a free Lion-O figure. Ah, cool. All right, I'll see you guys back over at camera 1. Alright, so this figure is really awesome, and I'm so glad that I got it for, you know, for freeze. But, you know, like I said, he does have a lot more paint detail, and one thing that really kind of made it hard for me to make the decision is that his paint detail actually isn't the greatest. If you could see here, it looks like, from Brazil with Love said, it looks like someone just slapped doo-doo on it. It looks like someone just slapped doo-doo. And it kind of looks like, you know, there is doo-doo. It looks like an amateur custom, really, especially on the back right here. Damn, that's really just glopped on there. On the legs right here, this looks better, but you could see, you know, and I like how the boots look dirty. I think that actually came out the best right there. I don't like this piece of plastic being a different color. I don't know why they would do that. Same thing with that Marvel Universe Cyclops. But parts of it, you know, the paint shading does look cool. Now this is all shiny, and then another thing you do is you get this chromed out sword, which is cool, and you get the base also, so that's cool. The retail version, it's just a painted silver instead of this really shiny chrome. But, you know, overall, I thought he was really cool. I really like this figure a lot. And another thing I noticed is that if you pose him from far away, the paint detail doesn't look as bad. I know it sounds kind of weird, but it doesn't look as bad if you have him on a display and you're looking at him from farther away. It does kind of blend together more. But, you know, my favorite thing about this is I really do love the sculpt, and I really love the articulation of this thing. It is just really well made. Love this head sculpt. This is very cool. And the paint detail on the hair did actually come out really well. Very cool Lion-O figure. I like it a lot. I loved Thundercats back in the day. Thundercats are on the roof. Thundercats. His head moves up and down a little bit. His head doesn't go too far back, but it does move down. Kind of bobbles. It's kind of weird. And his head moves side to side just fine. And he could kind of swivel like that. He has ball joints right here for the shoulders. Bicep swivel. Single jointed elbow. This just pops off like that. And then you can apply this one right here. Take the interchangeable hand. He has a few interchangeable hands. He moves up and down and side to side. And then on the right side, he has the sword holding grip, and then he has an open hand kind of deal right here too, which is nice. And then he has a diaphragm joint like right here, which doesn't really move that much, but you can get it to move. It's kind of hard. He has this really cool waist joint that moves side to side like that. You know, rocks around. It's pretty neat. Kind of reminds me of the Series 1 Iron Man. His belt can shift around a little bit. He's got these thigh joints that move up and down and side to side. His thigh joint right here, I think, is a trip that they added the muscle going across the top. I actually talked about this with Jesse Falcon, creator of Marvel Legends. And he was saying, like, yeah, I wouldn't have done that. Kind of looks weird when you move to the side. But I've gotten used to it. It doesn't really bug me that much. He's got double jointed knees. He rotates right here at the top of the boot. He's got an ankle that moves up and down, and ankle pivot, or ankle rocker. I don't know, apparently you guys don't like the term ankle rockers, but ankle pivot right there. Ankle buck pivot for you guys. And no peg holes at the bottom of the feet or anything. So like I said, he does come with this base right here, which is not part of the retail version, and he does have a smaller sword, which you could fit right into his glove shield. Now this one on mine, the paint actually came a little messed up. If if you could see it, but the red wasn't really applied very well on either side. Oh! 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 Oh well. But still, damn, look at the sculpt on this thing. Very, very cool. The sculpt on this sword, too, very awesome. Very well made. For the ladies! I like how the plastic that they chose for this, it's very sparkly. I'm a big fan of the sparkly plastic, so you can see all the sparkles in there. Look at the sparkles, everybody. He also has this piece right here that you can attach to his side. So that peg just goes right in there, and then you could plug it in. You know, the inside of this glove shield has that hole right there, so you can just, or it's easier to do it the other way around. So you push this in, and then you can attach it to the side. It is kind of tricky getting it on, because it does like to come off pretty easily. I don't know. You have to maneuver it correctly, but there it goes. Got it. Want to be a dumbass about it? You can attach this other hand so you can scratch his own butt. Numbers on the butt. Let's do a size comparison really quick. So their legs are about the same distance from each other. He is much taller than the Marvel Legends cap, and he's still taller than the Marvel Select cap right here. So, you know, he is definitely way out of scale from Marvel Legends, but, you know, I really don't care. I'm not going to have him displayed with my Marvel Legends. What the hell? There's, like, no reason for me to do that. I guess some people like crossovers a lot, but, you know, not for me, not with the Thundercats. I'll definitely be trying to get the Thundercats Classic Tigra figure and whatever Classics figures they have coming out, so look forward to that. Very, very cool figure. Really glad I ended up getting him. Alright, catch you guys later, and thank you from Brazil with love. I love yous.